and you are never required to accept any loan offer. Some lenders offer same-day. I was about to say, is that your little?
That's my little mic screen.
Your little popper stopper?
Yeah.
Directly into your browser.
I ain't mad at you.
Helping customers for 15 years.
I love it.
A rating with the Better Business Bureau. So, if you need cash for credit
I'm gonna do
cards,
my best.
car repairs, child care, or anything else, go to WeFixMoney.com.
Hey, yo.
Make sure you type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. Go to the company you trust. WeFixMoney.com. Just fill in the information and get an answer in minutes at WeFixMoney.com. For up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary.
4 years.
2025. We'll be marking the achievement with 4 key community events, including a special symposium, luncheon, and brain trust hosted by me entitled The State of Black Women in Los Angeles. Keep it locked here for details on how to join us for this groundbreaking symposium examining the unique challenges, triumphs, and contributions of Black women in Los Angeles in the areas of education, healthcare, community leadership, cultural and political contributions. This public convocation will provide a critical forum to address the specific social, economic, and political realities facing Black women in LA today. We'll go live with a radio broadcast and YouTube live stream, a public discussion, and a private dialogue with some of LA's most impactful women. It's an affirmation of Black women standing at the intersection of race and gender in times of adversity while demonstrating remarkable resilience and leadership. We will listen and we will speak out and be heard, all in service of finding opportunities and solutions. Please plan to join us in celebrating our 4th anniversary by amplifying the voices of Black women. For more on our symposium and 4 events celebrating 4 years on the air, simply stay tuned or keep an eye on KBLA1580.com and help make this Juneteenth more jubilant with all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
What up, everybody? Hit that like.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Tisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Chase away evil forces. So long as you bring the offerings. I am a witness.
We are looking at each other now. What are we looking at? What are you seeing? What am I seeing? Am I seeing you with an image which I have about you? Or you seeing me with an image you have about me? The image is the past.
Well, there are associations and memories which surround you.
Yeah, which is all the past.
Yes.
So you are looking at me with the memories, associations, experiences, the knowledge about me, which is the image you have. So you're really not looking at me. Your image is looking at me. Or rather, through the image you are looking. I think it's fairly simple, isn't it? Do we look at anybody with fresh eyes?
Ooh.
Well, I know you say that one ought to try and look at one's child, one's
One's
girlfriend,
wife, one's husband.
as for the first time, but it's very difficult. We've been trying this in the office section.
Why is it difficult? Because we like to live in the past. I have hurt you. I have said something brutal to you, and you remember it. And next time you meet me, that remembrance comes forward. I might have changed, but you have that memory. So you are looking at me with the image which you have, which has come about through the insult, or through pleasure. And so you can never look at another afresh.
You can never look at another afresh. Oh, Lord, tonight's topic. You already know what it is. The voice of reason. Live from Little Africa Town in the heart of Lamert Park. You know what it is. You know what I do. I've got to continue to step on your necks. Listen, it's tough love. It's coming from an authentic and genuine space. I love my folk. But we have to get out of this state of cognitive dissonance where we desire something we refuse to reconcile internally. You want love, 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 appreciation, acknowledgement, validation, acceptance. You want it all, but you refuse to give it all to yourself. You want to feel good, but you don't want to accept the feelings that feel bad that are actually good for you. Oh, yes, they exist. There are feelings out there that don't feel too good. But once you embrace them non-judgmentally, with love, with empathy, and they unravel, right, in the crucible of your heart and reveal a gift to you, the gift of liberation, the gift of self-knowledge, the gift of self-understanding, then you'll realize the purpose of why they were prickly in the beginning. Krishnamurti said, no. We're dating an image. Do you see the cognitive dissonance? You hurt me back then. And when I see you again, I don't see if you've changed, if you've evolved, if you've developed. I see the hurt from back then. Do you see? Do you see the cognitive dissonance of it all? Let me give you more context. Here it is. Can you imagine going to a new relationship expecting something different? Right? You were hurt. You carry that hurt. If you don't heal and reconcile your co-creation of the uncomfortable pain you felt, the discomfort of that pain you felt, oh yes, because you are a co-creator of your reality. Imagine going into a new relationship, trying to get a new result with the same old wounds. Sheesh. Tonight's topic, the world is backwards. Feelings over facts. They're in love with how you made them feel, not with who you are. Yeesh. The ancestral misfire, love in the age of neurocolonialism. Modern day intimacy has evolved into a neurospiritual battleground where millennials and Gen Zs, navigating advancements in gene editing and neural lace technologies, replay ancestral traumas through algorithmically dictated relationships. Limerence, once an evolutionary remnant from our ancestors, now manifest as a dopamine-driven obsession with endless swiping, leaving hearts starved of genuine connection. CPTSD survivors, their oxytocin genes altered by epigenetic trauma, compulsively pursue unavailable partners, mistaking self-sabotage for cosmic justice. AI therapists erode accountability by offering unchecked validation, while gene editing risks spiritual emptiness by editing out primal emotions like jealousy. Jealousy is something to be overcome. If you edit it out, you miss the lesson that is on the opposite side of jealousy. Come on. You can't own them, but you got to learn that. Okay, I don't want to give away the answers. We craft curated Finsta personas, trading authenticity for digital perfection, yet ache for raw human bonds. TikTok twin flames communities, romanticize toxicity as quantum destiny, reframing abuse as fate. Humanity teeters on the precipice. Heal through psychedelic guided introspection or spiral into a hive mind dystopia, emerged consciousness echoing with loneliness. It's not about just feeling good. What is, we're going to get into it, emotional IQ. Do you know your number? Have you taken an emotional IQ test? Have you done the work to find out if you're still an 8 to 12-year-old wounded child within a fully grown body? Love, humanity's most exquisite evolutionary glitch, is now commodified by tech overlords. Survival demands metamorphosis into cyber mystics, hybrids of nanotechnology and untamed spirit. What are you talking about, Zoe? I'm here to tell you, if you don't develop your spiritual peace, the spiritual peace that comes from challenge, that comes from struggle. Challenge and struggle produce resilience. Resilience produce steadfastness, discipline. Do you see? Self-awareness. All of this is coming out of resilience. If you don't produce the spiritual component that relationship has to offer, you become roboticized by society. You become an automaton who only want a particular reaction from a particular situation. Who that person is, where they are in their personal development means very little. There's very little meaning in relationships today. If you want meaning, you have to cultivate it within. The voice of reason is not playing with you tonight. Get on your phone lines. I want to talk to everybody. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Are you ready to cook with me? I want to hear from Los Angeles. I want to hear from Pasadena, Altadena. I'm from Pasadena and Altadena. Altadena, stand up. Pasadena, stand up. I want to hear from Hawthorne. I want to hear from Inglewood. I want to hear from Compton in the house. I want to hear from Watts up. I want to hear from Colorado, New Mexico, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Atlanta. I want to hear from DC, New York. I want to hear from Vallejo. Get up in here. Yay.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds.
What up, y'all? Everybody hit that like button. Let's get in here. Let's get cracking. Like it up, like it up, like it.
And economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. During this hour, KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting. On Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena.
Robinson,
Dominic DePrima,
Jackie Robb,
James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate day 100 since the wildfires flared up. And we'll discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting Town Hall, Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. The first 100 attendees will receive a complimentary air purifier. This is a community call to action brought to you by
the Vatican finna call in is crazy.
Trial lawyers at KBLA Talk 1580.
Where the likes at? Come on. Only 23 likes, 45 people. Hit the like button.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting.
Come on. Don't do us like that. Hit the like button. Dang, it's free. I don't like that. Don't ignore. Follow instructions. Hit the like button. It's free.
The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 744-7300. All these services are free to help you.
Diamond Blue, what's good?
This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. With her heavy, her vibe was hella cool. I would slide from the stoop with flowers and food, talking for hours, looking for common truth. We never knew a rush like this could improve. She liked to groove. I sit back and watch her body move. Her presence was a present, and I honor too. The modest goddess that didn't find it beneath the garments was the hottest frame stacked and honest. Her feed only held positive comments. Played this song, made all my homies vomit. It was crazy. This lady nearly killed a pea, like she never heard a boss's soliloquy. She wrote a poem talking about staying strong, waiting on her king. And it touched me. I told her I wasn't ready, but now I am, and everything's so litty. It's litty. Player in a old Chevy, letting drag sparks dance to this melody. It's a vibe, Aretha, rock steady, and the music we make, it sounds so pretty. Some people don't love you. They just love how you make them feel about themselves.
Ooh.
And when that feeling stops, so do they. That's not love. That's performance anxiety with a spiritual backdrop. You think you're dating a confident guru. Turns out you're just a trauma support animal for someone playing God because they're terrified of being seen as human. Narcissists don't want connection. They want control disguised as closeness. It's not ego. It's fear in a designer mask.
Psychologist Heinz Kohut talked about this in The Analysis of the Self, 1971, how narcissists construct a false self to avoid collapsing under the weight of shame. So when you confront them, you're not hurting their feelings. You're threatening their existence. That's why truth feels like violence to someone addicted to illusion.
Ooh.
When someone builds their identity on a fantasy, reality becomes an attack. So they fight it, deny it, or punish you for noticing it. You can't negotiate with someone who needs you confused to feel in control. The clearer you get, the more chaotic they become. But clarity is the breakaway. Not revenge, not rage. Just finally seeing the pattern for what it is and choosing to step off the ride. You don't need their permission to reclaim your peace. You don't need closure from someone who was never fully present, and you sure as hell don't need to keep setting yourself on fire just to prove you're warm.
Listen here, Psychology Dog Man. Y'all don't know about Psychology Dog Man? Listen, there's a cartoon. It's a dog, and of course it's voiced by a human, but the dog reminds me of the dog from Family Guy, right? Whatever that dog's name was. What was his name? Kevin or something like that. But it's literally an Instagram page, and I think it's also a TikTok page. Brian, that was the name of the dog on Family Guy. It's literally an animated series of this dog breaking down these psychological concepts, and it's amazing, and it fit perfectly. Most people don't give a damn about who you really are. They only care about how you make them feel. See, the person that only cares about how you make them feel, that's an unhealed person. I'm sorry to put it that way. I'm gonna put it that way. They only care about one thing. That's a type of supply. You make me feel good, we're good. You make me feel bad, I can't guarantee tomorrow. That's just what it is. People are selfish and greedy because they're unhealed. When you're dealing with trauma, you're dealing with an insatiable appetite, one that can't be quenched with nurturing, with loving, with caring. Because first off, if you're wounded by somebody who didn't give you the love, then love becomes an attack. Then nurturing and kindness becomes an attack. Do you see? Heavy stuff. Limerence as an ancestral software glitch, which has morphed into the now swipe culture sabotage. We're going to swipe left, swipe left. Oh, not that one. Question: if limerence activates the same dopamine pathways as ancestral foraging, why do millennials/Gen Zs mistake Tinder swipes for soulmate signals, despite 70% of them reporting disillusionment with the app? Huh? Here's the empirical hook. Gen Z spends 3 times longer daily on, or excuse me, Gen Z, I said Gen Z, spends 3 times longer daily on dating apps than millennials, yet report 2 times higher loneliness, according to Pew in 2024. Here's the psychological insight, the philosophical insight. We've digitized hunger, but forgotten how to eat. Byung Chul Han. We've digitized hunger, but forgotten how to eat. Generational dissonance. Craving intimacy, but conditioned to treat partners like disposable dopamine hits. Our millennials are like that too. Oh yeah. Especially the younger millennials. Yes, yes. This is what's happening. You're just a dopamine hit. Right? That's it. And if you won't give it to me, somebody else will. I'm sorry. Here's the emotional IQ insight. Recognize swiping as emotional fast food. Convenient, but malnourishing. You can't be nourished digitally. I think swipe hunger. I know you don't want to hear it put this way, but the emotional IQ of the populace is far too low. Right? It's low for ourselves. Come on now, CPTSD and the oxytocin paradox. Now with climate anxiety overlay. Question. When 58% of Gen Zs cite climate collapse as a reason to avoid parenthood, does echo grief epigenetically rewire our oxytocin genes to sabotage long-term bonds? Nobody's asking these types of questions because nobody is looking at it from this perspective. See, it's easy to hook up with somebody. And it's very difficult to disconnect from all of the connections or broken connections that you have and they have. I had a full conversation today. Didn't know I was going to do this topic. Had a full conversation with a good brother of mine, and I was explaining his emotional IQ deficit and where it came from. Childhood. Now you can't have a conversation about expressing yourself because it becomes competitive, because you're looking for what you didn't get in childhood. And then the frustration builds. Do you see? Where there is frustration, anger is soon to follow. Anger is a secondary emotion. Something is underneath. You might be angry about something being said, but the real purpose of that anger is underneath. I don't know. Emotion. You got men. We don't need emotion. You just got to show up and do our gender role. No, I'm sorry. You got to do some internal work, which isn't specified in the gender definition. You understand? Millennials with climate anxiety show 40% lower oxytocin during intimacy. This is out of Yale, 2023. Here's the philosophical insight. How do you plant trees when the world is burning? Thich Nhat Hanh. That's how the millennials and the Gen Zs are looking at the world. How do you fall in love, make love, build a family, give love when everything around you is burning down? Love has no place here for them. Just a quick dopamine hit. Huh? Generational dissonance. Yearning for connection while fearing planetary and relational collapse. Listen, when I come forward, if you think for 1 second I'm about to take this foot off your neck, you're absolutely wrong. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Talk to me about your ability to navigate your emotions. Can you regulate your negative feelings in the moment of fire when you need to? I want to know. When we come forward, the phone lines will be open, 1-800-920-1580. What y'all think of this song? What y'all think of this song? So, you want to see Zoe Williams' A&R skills? That's it. That's my homeboy Broadway who produced the beat. And the rapper is the dude that owns my brother that owns the Cigar Lounge. He just dropped an album. He's got albums, but I finally was able to put him and Broadway together. Broadway produced the track. So you can buy this album. It's on one of those little sites where you buy the album. The MC's name is Real Thorough. Let me tell you the name of the album. The name of the album is Inside Out. Let me see where you can go get it. For some reason, I don't know why I can't leave a message. I thought I used to be able to do this. I can't pin it in the chat. That's whack. Hold on, let me see what it's called. I'm going to text it to you, Attila. Now, here's the thing. Who blocked Zoe me? Here's the thing. Who said they blocked me?
WeFixMoney.com. Just fill in the
Real
information
thorough.
and get an answer in minutes at WeFixMoney.com. For up to $3,000, go to WeFixMoney.com. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary.
All right, so Attila, I text you the link. But here's the thing, you can't really listen to it. Oh, who blocked me? I don't know why I can't. Because normally I would have a little, like on my computer, I have a little box, but on the phone, I don't, for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But listen, get to your phone lines. I want to talk to folks, okay? So the link that I sent you, this is the pre-link, the pre-order link. You could buy it now. You can give whatever amount of money you want to give. I gave 15 because I wanted to buy the album to support my brother. The full album, you getting the full album here, but the full album release comes out in August. It'll be on all the DSPs. There it is. Check out Real Thorough. And his son is dope. His son is named Mo Thorough. And you'll hear Mo Thorough on some of the songs. And because I can get away with it for now, that's why I'm playing the music, because I might not get dinged for it yet. You feel me? So you got Mo Thorough and Real Thorough. Dad is Real Thorough. Mo Thorough is son. And Mo Thorough does the coldest hooks. Hey, Mo Thorough in and of himself is crazy.
Invite you out to the Comedy Connection series, where comedy meets connection. You're gonna laugh, but you're also gonna learn. The long-awaited collaboration, where comedy collides with connection. It's your brother Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, KBLA's own. I'm teaming up with my friend, the alpha male.
Young Thorough coming soon for sure. But the track that I played for y'all is called Liddy. I picked 4 tracks from the album. 2 of them produced by Broadway. The first one produced by Broadway, that was Liddy. Man, the other one, The Spell, produced by Broadway, is crazy. And then I played a couple. I think one is his. I don't want to reveal too much. I'm going to be playing all his music. I told him, hey, we got to get him out there. Real Thorough. Love this brother, man. He owns a cigar lounge. He's one of the Los Angeles top-end custom tailors. This is why the cigar lounge is called Drobe Stogies, wardrobe. Because in the front of the cigar lounge, there's a haberdashery. And when you get the top membership, he'll give you a custom-made jacket. I said, I don't want the jacket. I want the whole suit. You got to give me the jacket, the pants, the vest, the shirt. So he hooked it up. That's why it's called Drobe Stogie, right? So he's no joke. He does custom designs for celebrities, Martin, all types of actors, They come in and get fitted in the haberdashery in the front part of the cigar lounge. It's amazing work. And then on top of that, he's a community brother. Father of 3, but he's a community brother. He has a nonprofit organization called LEAP that do after-school lunches for thousands of kids every day. So his program covers California, covers other states. They make sure they get after-school food for kids. And it's free to the kids, of course. But they're the nonprofit that distributes and gets it all taken care of. My homeboy, Ryan. But right now, it's Real Thorough. Y'all tell me what y'all think of this.
Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I A&R'd the project.
product of these lost addicts, undeveloped emotions, carrying trauma-filled bags. We made it work. On the struggle bus, fingers made sure you stayed alert. Cats caught slipping off and left in dirt. For street cred, we exchanged our worth. Catching cases, navigating the racist system. Split decision can get 20 summers wasted in prison. I don't know who needs to hear this or if anyone's listening. Survival guilt, I had to learn to cry. I only knew anger, limited expressions of the mind. I even had to learn to be happy. It's crazy cause I looked fine, but was all tangled up inside. Dealing is not healing. Had to remove the ceiling, let the sun in, and begin building. Tackling false narratives, images of doubt, and figure out a way to mean it when I say I am enough.
I am enough.
Pain is pretty real. Everybody acts as if that's true. Everyone acts like pain is real. And so then you might say, well, if pain is real, what allows you to cope with pain or transcend pain must be more real. Because if something's real and you encounter something that is more significant than that, you have to attribute reality to that. So we all have to deal with the catastrophe of life, with the pain and limitation of life. And so then you might say, well, how do you do that? Is it even possible to do that? And one answer might be, hide from it, bury your head in the sand. And I'm not being smart about this. It's like, the less you think about your mortal vulnerability, the better off you'll be. It's an insoluble problem. Your best bet is to run away from that realization, to keep yourself blind, and maybe to busy yourself with as much hedonic pleasure as you can possibly get.
To drown yourself out.
If you want to stabilize people psychologically, and if you want to imbue them with courage, then what you do is you help them expose themselves voluntarily to the things they're afraid of that they're avoiding. It's a very powerful technique. That's exposure therapy. What exposure therapy seems to do is to make you braver.
Exposure therapy. Expose yourself to those inner demons, those wounds that can't stop telling you what to do. Expose yourself to them. Stand up to them. You've been bullied long enough. You have to stop capitulating to their endless demands. The supply comes from your unhealed, unrequited wounds. That's where the demand comes from. You got to show up right. You got to treat me right. Your partner is not your parent. It's not their job to finish Mama Nim's work. Look at what we're doing to this society as we move forward because we refuse to heal. We have children that are unhealed. They have children that are unhealed. And pretty soon, the children begin to behave like robots. No use for emotion. No use for an emotional IQ. No use for an amygdala, for that matter. Do you see? We become the mouse in B.F. Skinner's box. It's unfortunate. Prefrontal lobotomy by Instagram. Now with Gen Z's Finsta double life. Question: does maintaining Finstas, fake Instagrams, fracture selfhood? Milking millennials and Gen Zs 3 times more likely to distrust partners' authenticity. Who are you? You got a whole nother fake life on the internet. Here's your empirical hook. 65% of Gen Z admits curating multiple personas online. According to Stanford, that's 2024. Here's your philosophical insight. The digital self is the ultimate shapeshifter and liar. Jaron Lanier. Oh yeah, it's happening. Relationships are totally different. You know why? Because we forgot or never knew the purpose of what a relationship was. You hear people say, you know what? When you have a kid, there's no manual for raising a kid. There's no manual. Well, that's too far down the line. There's no manual for relationships, even though everybody writes a book about it. Do you know why the books are insufficient and left wanting? Because psychology does not deal with spirituality, even though psychology was born out of philosophy and philosophy was born out of spirituality. The ancient mystery schools. Philosophy, philosophy, the study of wisdom. Psychology, psyche, soul, study of the soul. No. Once it got Western, it got linear. Spirituality is not linear. Spirituality is okay with God blocking something from happening. Do you understand? Spirituality is all right with that. Hey, oh, you didn't get what you wanted? Oh, that's because God stepped in. Oh, your ancestors stepped in. Oh, that's why you're not getting that. That's not for you. That person's on a different path and they have to go crash into their reality. Whatever misguided ideas they have about their beliefs, they're on their path. They got to crash into that in order for that to evolve for them. You're going to get in the way. Let me tell you something about getting in the way of somebody else's karma. You heard of Cain and Abel? That is the greatest metaphor of don't get in somebody's way. Their karma. Cain kills his brother. Abel. Cain, from the Hebrew word, meaning javelin or spear. Abel, Habil, meaning breath. He only took a couple of them. Breath, to breathe. Habil, Abel, Cain and Abel, the javelin and the breath. Huh? Cain kills Abel. Right? What does God do with Cain? God says, okay, here you go. Bow. I'm going to put a mark on your forehead. That'll let anybody know, hey, this is not somebody you kill or mess with. Because if you do, whatever happens to him will happen to you times 7. That was God saying, don't block this man's karma. He killed his brother. Let him live. He got to live with that. Sometimes we try to save people from what they're supposed to live with. No. Let them live. Stop trying to save people from what they're supposed to live with. And because we've lost these spiritual lessons of what relationship is about, right? We're becoming less and less empathetic towards ourselves and others. And the more we become devoid or deficient of empathy, the more transactional we become. We become sensation-addicted automatons. You're here for a good time and not a long time. Okay? That's what this is about. You're here for a good time and not a long time. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we go into the phone lines. Let's get it.
Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
Does it make sense? Are we locked in? Empress, just passing through. Come on, you can't just be passing through. Does it make sense? I need y'all to call in. Empress should have been called in. Empress, you know you can't just pass through without calling in. It's disrespectful. You know we need to talk to you. We ain't talked to you in forever. Y'all hear the playlist is locked in? Did you hear the record, I Am Enough? You hear I Am Enough by Real Thorough? Man, y'all should buy that record, man. Support that brother. Buy that record. Support that brother, okay? I need phone calls, though. Seriously. We're 47 minutes in. Can you guys call in? Do you guys understand the topic? What up, Andre Goodson? What's happening? I mean, the first hour is almost done. The shit is moving. I need y'all to call in. Do I have to teach for an hour? I guess so. Thank you, Attila. We appreciate it. But of course, you would say that. What up, Meech? What up, what up, what up? I swear to God, there's going to be a time I ain't going to be here. It's going to be over. You better appreciate this shit now. It's coming. You going to remember. And a nigga told us.
In my heart, there is this beautiful song that beats for the possibilities. It beats for the dreams that I buried deep in my soul that I've forgotten, hidden from myself. It beats when I've forgotten how to breathe, when to breathe, and why to breathe. In my heart, there is this beautiful song that beats in melodic rhythmic beats because it knows who I truly am. And I've forgotten my way, forgotten my worth, forgotten who and whose I am. In my heart, this song, it sings. Sings when I don't know the words. It sings when I've lost my way. It sings when I've temporarily forgotten. And in my heart, there is this beautiful song. It's a song of truth, the song of honesty, the song of hope, the song of surrender, the song of I am. Oh, it sings loudly. It sings boldly.
Now, is what about your conception of conscious totality? Would you agree, for example, with the statement that this is something that emerges out of man's contact with reality? But that is an ego at all. That is your question, yes. Oh, well, you see, that's again such a case. I hadn't been there when it was invented. Although, you see, you can observe it to a certain extent with a child. Because child definitely begins in a state where there is no ego. And then about the fourth year or before, but about that time, the child develops a sense of ego, I, myself. And that is in the first place a certain identity with the body. For instance, when you ask primitives, then they emphasize always the body. Or when, for instance, you ask now, who has brought this thing here? We'll say, I have brought it. No accent on the I, simply brought it. And they say, but have you brought it? And he says, me. Yes, I myself, this became an object, this here, there, here. So the identity, with the body is one of the first things which make an ego. It is the spatial separateness that induces apparently the concept of an ego. And then, of course, a lot of other
things. Later on, it is mental differences, personal differences of all sorts, etc. You see, the ego is continuously building up. It is not a finished product, never. It builds up. You see, no year passes where you do not discover a new little aspect in which you have more ego than you thought. Of course, one of the central parts of the so-called psychosexual development in the more or less orthodox psychoanalytic theory is the so.
We brought in the OG, Carl Jung himself. The ego is not a finished product. It's continuously building itself up. The ego is like America's defense budget. It's constantly growing and expanding. Do you see what's happening to you by not accepting the spiritual purpose of relationship? What is the spiritual purpose of relationship, Zoe? Self-nudity. To be you. To accept you as you are. To be you. Relationship is the university of you. The real you. The you repress. The you suppress. That's what it's for. Your partner mirrors your wounds. Krishnamurti was talking about relationship as a mirror in the 1900s, basically. 1920, you know. Now our clinicians and our psychologists are talking about mirror neurons. Our clinicians are talking about trauma bonding. Our clinicians are talking about how our central nervous systems mirror each other. Do you see? If 80% of Gen Zs prefer AI therapists for vulnerability, are they outsourcing emotional labor and eroding relational resilience? Listen, emotional labor is a big thing for people now because they're soft, they're weak. No disrespect, I love you. But overdependence on technology and stimulation takes away the resources that are needed for introspection. And if you're not dealing with the unhealed wounds that you carried from childhood, let me break something down for you here. Right? Outsourcing emotional labor. That's normal. For intimate relationships, emotional labor is normal, right? It's normal. Now we're going to say, nope, let's make the soft culture that we live in that says, no, you get to feel indefinitely that it's too much labor. No, at some point, sure, take a break, but get back to work internally. That's the work that matters. Do you see? I'm going to outsource my emotional labor because I feel it's too much. No, it's just right. If the universe is fine-tuned, how is your emotional labor too much? I mean, fine-tuned in the most ridiculous ways. Einstein's universal constants. What is it? A handful of them, 12, 15, 16 of them, I don't know. Maybe 12 of them, universal constants. And they're so precise, if any one of them was off by a gnat fart, if any one of those constants were off, we couldn't be here. We couldn't live here. But your emotional labor is too much. No, you haven't strengthened the muscle to deal with it. This is what's happening, though, because we don't have a doctrine, a philosophy, a curriculum that teaches the spiritual nature of relationship, which is self-discovery, self-awareness, self-acknowledge, self-approval, self-acceptance, right? We don't have a spiritual doctrine that does that. So we go out into the world with wounds that came from our first love relationship, which is our parents, and we're expecting our partners to complete the job. Replica users show 50% less conflict resolution skills versus human therapy clients. MIT 2024. Listen, I was talking to the brother today. Fear of vulnerability. 80% of Gen Z prefers AI therapists for vulnerability. You can't be vulnerable with another human? Let me explain. There's high stakes relationships and low stakes relationships. The high stake relationship, especially if you're wounded, is your intimate partner. Because if you came from a place where love was inconsistent, where your emotional needs were not met through the lack of emotional attunement by your parent, your primary caregiver, vulnerability is the enemy. Do you see? So it used to be, okay, I can't talk to my partner because of that. Now it's turned into I can't talk to anybody because of that. It's gotten worse. So a low stake relationship would be like, oh, let me talk to my therapist. They have no investment other than seeing me get better. We're not intimate. We don't have any other connections other than professional. I go to them. They give me insight about me that I can only share with them and they can only share with me. That used to be a safe space. But now the vulnerability has spread to therapists. I'd rather talk to GPT. Let me talk to a robot. Get me an AI therapist. AI therapists have zero amygdala activation when I'm talking to them. See, and I believe because you're talking to another human, one that is in a low stake relationship, they're going to tell you the truth and you're going to run from them anyway. Which is one of the reasons you run from your partner, because your partner knows you, they're going to tell you the truth. You can't hear from your partner. Now you go to the therapist, you can't hear the truth from, you run into AI because you think AI ain't going to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you, AI is dumber than your human therapist. Why? Because they can pick up on things that AI can't. The humanity of you, they can pick up on that. When we come forward, the voice of reason will continue this cookout.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
That's literally an hour straight. That is, you guys are really disappointing me tonight. That's funny. Imagine talking to a robot about your wounds from elementary is crazy. AI doesn't see your arms are folded. That's crazy. Seems like people are in their feelings tonight. Could be. Unless he's talking about me. All right. Davy Lee, you in your feelings? You not in your feelings. You're a Cancer. Pretty brown Mimi. Of course you're always in your feelings. Not everybody's always in their feelings. Why are you in your feelings? Is it over the topic? Have you seen this guy, William Donahue? No. Who is he, Chad? I don't know who that is. I gotta get my shit together fast. That's all. I understand. No doubt. Davy Lee, man. Hey, sending love to you, brother.
Relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes? Financial infidelity?
Hey.
Dating a bad person? Are they worth the wait?
Don't be bummed out about that. Actually, you can feel bummed out about it.
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I'm pregnant. Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my lip.
Why can't you open up, brother? I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So William, reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Romani. So we always have lots of people talking about emotional regulation, emotional regulation. Let's talk a little bit about that. One thing we know is that narcissistic people cannot emotionally regulate. And one of the biggest problems, and I'd say the biggest issues in narcissistic relationships originate from the fact that narcissistic people are so dysregulated. They either scream and yell if they don't get their way, or they give you the silent treatment. And long story short, that is how we end up with the eggshell walking, the balancing on a razor that characterizes just about every antagonistic or narcissistic relationship. If you have been in a narcissistic relationship for long enough, or you grew up with a narcissistic parent, you never really got healthy models of regulation. And as a result, raging, screaming anger can become normalized, or any form of anger can become terrifying. Alternately, your fears of abandonment may have been stoked by a parent who expressed their anger through withholding or withdrawal anytime the parent didn't get their way. So from a very early age, you became masterful at completely and utterly catering to the needs of other people. So that may leave you wondering, if all I've ever seen, or most of what I see, is dysregulation or unhealthy regulation, what exactly does healthy regulation look like? Now, if you've never really been in a relationship where that is happening, or you even struggle with it yourself, that may be a big question. By and large, most survivors of narcissistic and antagonistic relationships overregulate. You keep it all bottled up, right? And that definitely is going to take a toll on your physical and your mental health. It's not a bad strategy, right? There's no point in speaking out in the relationship, so the overregulation may be the only way to stay safe, and in fact, speaking out may even make things worse. So maybe for a lifetime, you learn to push it all down, and even find that you're not even able to cry or let out emotion in any way, and you may feel quite distanced from how you feel or even what you're allowed to feel. But that, again, begs the question of what this video is about. What exactly then qualifies as healthy regulation? Here are some thoughts on that. In a person who is healthily regulated, you actually express the emotion appropriately. You give yourself permission to identify the emotion and to respond to it. Maybe you'll cry if you're sad. Take a break and maybe some time to work to yourself, to work through some anger. Laughing when you're happy and you're able to articulate the emotion. I feel really angry right now. And then articulate what you need. Like, I just need a minute to sit with this. Though, got to keep this in mind. Just because you regulate and express emotion, it doesn't mean that the other person you're with will either hear it right or cooperate. But whether you do it alone or with someone else or in a place where you can share it, you name it, you express it, you feel it, you process it.
Listen, Dr. Romani is not playing either. Listen, as your partner, What I actually am is your companion. But your journey is yours alone. I'm just here to walk it with you. I'm not here to walk it for you. Disney did that. Disney did that. There are things you must do for you that causes you to elevate towards self-realization. I cannot realize your exclusive portion of the one self for you. Did you hear that? I can't realize your exclusive portion of the one self for you. It is your job to climb the Jacob's ladder in your spirit and connect with the source that is connected to you. It's the same source that's connected to me, but I got a different piece of it. It's not my job to do that. I can't do that for you. You had an example in Christ. He was teaching how to do that. But what did he say of his disciples? My disciples are fools and slow of heart. What? You live with the instructions? Man, didn't I tell y'all to stay awake in the Garden of Gethsemane? Didn't I say that? So you don't want to deal with the fact of who you are. You'd rather deal with convenient, stimulating feelings so you can forget about the facts of who you are. Tonight's topic, feelings over facts. They're in love with how you make them feel, not who you are. Because who you are is a work in progress that is designed to disappoint. Why is it designed to disappoint, Zoe? Because they mirror what you have yet to work on. Everybody does. I know it's difficult to look at it that way, but that's simply what it is. We want love to be convenient. We want love to be unidirectional, right? Unidirectional. Just feel good. All good vibes. No bad vibes. Do you know what the purpose of a bad vibe is? It's not just a warning, right? It could also be a reminder of something you forgot or something you've looked over. Man, let me just say, what do you mean, Zoe? Many people struggle with being enough, right? Many people struggle with a worthiness wound. Man, put that I Am Enough back on by Real Thorough. Andy, can you put that I Am Enough back on underneath the record? I Am Enough. The Real Thorough record we played earlier. Oh, he done got rid of the record already. Lord have mercy. Because in the record, the brother is basically saying, you are enough. We are enough. Like literally, we're enough. But we haven't been taught that. And especially if in the beginning of our relationship journey. Right? Gosh. If that wasn't there, we go out looking for what we think we're missing. Here's the philosophical insight. Convenience is the enemy of depth. Let that resonate. Convenience is the enemy of depth. Cal Newport. Gosh. If they show up the way I need them to show up, I'm good. That's convenient, huh? How convenient. But it's going to lack meaning. It's going to lack purpose. Do you see? Generational dissonance, craving empathy, but avoiding human messiness. I was talking to my daughter She's Gen Z. Oh, it's a mess, child. I'm staying home. That's how she talks. It's a mess, child. I'm staying home. Do you want me to bring you anything? No, I'm fine. It's a mess out there. I'm staying home. Avoidance builds conflict in communication, in relationship, internally. Wherever there is avoidance, there's a slacking on your mackin'. Remember when we was young, closed mouth don't get fed? You better get out there and get it. Am I lying? Emotional IQ insight. You got to use AI as a tool, not as a crutch, right? You have to preserve human accountability. No more bot therapy or AI enablers. Do you understand? This generation, the millennials and the Generation Zs, are starting to spiritually bypass. Everything is designed for convenience, right? What's a synonym for convenience? Comfort, predictability, consistency, the enemy of depth. Cal Newport. This is the world we're living in. The emotional IQ must raise if the quality of our relationships are to raise. We got a caller on the line. I want to get him in here. Nephew time. Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully you're not on speakerphone. Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What up? My bad.
No worries, brother.
Yeah, sorry about before, man. One of my earbuds had died.
No worries, brother. You good.
But really though, with the regulation piece, one thing that's helped me, I'm still working through, is, in terms of accepting wise counsel from those that you do respect.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing. And one sentiment that's been echoed to me is kind of like a double-edged thing, where it's like, personally, I get fueled by what I feel is my passion igniting.
Mm-hmm.
That can look like aggression. It can look like just intensity,
Mm-hmm.
Those type of things. And I had to learn that it's okay to feel that, not to lash out, but again, just kind of pocketing and having certain outlets that not only are available to me or that I might seek out, but also it's one thing to have an opportunity to do something, it's another thing to take it on with confidence too.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that as well is that the letting things go piece is really big in terms of what's helped me better regulate my own emotional turmoils or struggles, because stress in various forms is going to manifest as sickness throughout your body, health. Like I've had chronic migraines and so forth and things like that. But what I realized too is that inside I was walking around with, especially in those times, and even as they come up, I can still identify. But it's like there feels to be, or there appears to be something still unresolved inside of me, right? It might not be something that I'm oblivious to, you know what I mean? But it feels like, I still have to, quote unquote, do something about this.
Right. And you might be aware of it, but you might not have a name for it.
Yeah, that's another one.
Do you see what I'm saying?
The language piece.
Yeah, like you might not know what to call it. You might not know its origin. That's why you might want to get a wound journal and start naming them.
Right.
Do you see?
And then, well, for me, yeah, and that's something I might do as well too. But like, say, like my wound journal now more than anything, is just my practice I call sketching for sanity, or like just airing it out.
Right.
So in
Releasing.
terms of art
Yes.
therapy, right,
Mm-hmm.
just embrace the gift of expression
Mm-hmm.
and flow.
I love that.
And choosing, you choose to take on the gift of being able to let something go. Like, because another big gem is like, you can't let something go that you're not holding on to. So walking around like you're not still wrapped up or caught up on something in denial.
Wait.
Like that's one big thing.
Wait. Hold on. Say that again. You can't let go of something that, what?
That you're not holding on to.
Because it's already let go. It's gone. You're not holding on to it, right?
You would think so. But it's like, because in my personal experience, in essence, even recently, like, I could tell myself till the cows come home type of thing, like, I'm over this or I'm over that. But that constant echo inside is still showing me that, in honesty, that's not something I have actually let go of.
Hey, then it's okay. I see where you're going. But listen to how you framed it. You can't let go of something that you're not holding on to. Well, in fact, you are holding on. Right?
Exactly.
You might be resistant to acknowledging the fact that you're still holding on. See, these are the lies we have to tell ourselves to make it to the next moment. I ain't holding on to them. I ain't checking for them. I'm not caught up. But in fact, you really are. So now but see, this is why I stopped you there, because you actually opened up a can of worms, right? Because a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with the fact that they think they've moved on. Let me tell you something. Closure and moving on are two different things. See, many of us have closure inverted. We think the closure is in the person. Hell no. The closure is in you. That is how you let go. Do you see? Stay with me. Don't go nowhere, nephew. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. You cooking. When we come forward, more from ATL. That's good shit, nephew. Nephew cooking. Altitude 15 miles from LA, man. It's just a neighborhood of LA up near the mountain. It's all LA County. Nephew, keep me locked in. Jack Brazen. Remember that point you was on. Hey, and honestly, what do you guys think about Real Thorough? What do y'all think about Real Thorough, the album? Or at least the songs I'm playing. James Broadway.
After reading the glyphs, using knowledge against us, destroying our noses and lips. They wanted to take our breath. But we were reborn after death. The ancestors restored the flesh. We were left to suffer. Our memories not nearly recovered. Man devolved, became slave to desire. Ruled the tomb, consumed the fumes of the fire. The noose of the liar took our breath again. We took the message in, looking outward and stepping within. Programmed the ways of sin to replace divine intent. From man to boy, lost ones chasing a decoy. But the truth is hard to destroy. Take a breath and realize you are all that's left. The final frontier, the one in the mirror. The spell is weaker as you start to remember. We were here before they came. We laid out the game. Molded in stone all the same. Message of this plane always. Not here to entertain. I came to light up the center brain. Now breathe. And get up off your knees. We were common men, queens, kings, artisans, experts in every region. Finding our impact is easy. A simple search.
Well, here we are, back to our cognitive distortion series, distortion number 11, magnification. This is where we make a bigger deal out of something more than it needs to be. It's sort of like Chicken Little. The sky is falling, sky is falling. So magnification is a cognitive distortion where we exaggerate the significance or consequences of an event or situation. You know, for example, if we make a small mistake at work, we might catastrophize it, make it much worse than it really is. And we could even go on to believe that it could ruin our career or cost us our job. In reality, it was simply a mistake, but something we all make and probably can be easily rectified. I find this thinking particularly harmful because it tends to lead people over the edge, leading to anxiety, stress, and simply feelings of overwhelm. It can also prevent us from taking necessary risks or trying new things because we're afraid of the potential consequences. To counteract magnification, it's really about trying to put things into perspective and ask ourselves, could we be blowing things out of perspective, out of proportion? What's helpful is to step back for a moment and go, whoa, let's take a look at the bigger picture. And in the big picture of the world, is this really something smaller or is it really big? And that way you have some comparison of where things seem to be. It also allows us, when we step back, to focus on some problem solving and solutions that may help us overcome whatever we're facing, rather than dwelling on the negative outcomes. Sometimes I find people get so caught up in what they think will happen because of the way their minds are going and catastrophizing this small event that they are immobilized to do anything differently. They get stuck. So magnification.
Wow. Cooking with the rarest grease of them all. The voice of reason. I'm just bringing things to your attention that are necessary for when you go into a relationship. Number one, self-observation. You're so busy looking at your partner and expecting them to show up in the way that you need them to show up, expecting them to show up in the way that your wounds need them to show up in, that you lose sight of you, how you will react, how you will respond, right? If triggered, if something from the subconscious peers its ugly head into the conscious relationship environment. Your job is to keep an eye on you. That's how you track your progress. Relationship is the university of you. What does that mean? The university of the revelation of self-knowledge. If you got 256 scripts of generational trauma running at any point in your life, who's to say your great-great-grandfather who got anger issues towards women didn't pop up in a particular conflict you had with one? According to Dr. Muriel Bouquet, her work on intergenerational trauma, 256 scripts from both your mama's side, 12 on your mama's side, 12 on your father's side. You're going to get 256 generational scripts running unconsciously. So what happens when you people please and enable? Maybe that was passed down epigenetically too. Do you see? Relationships are designed to stop those demonic avatars from making it to your children. But you know what we do? We pass the buck. And we keep passing it to the generation after us. Why do 40% of Gen Z twin flame seekers dismiss psychological abuse as divine lessons, despite 80% meeting the DSM-5's criteria for trauma bonds? You have to remember, in the Western context, a trauma bond is a bad thing. In a spiritual context, that trauma is bonded between two people so you can't escape. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about psychologically. Those wounds mirror each other, and there's an opportunity for healing if we focus on the wounds and not the person that's exacerbating them. When we come forward, we're going back to Atlanta, Georgia to get the final thought on my nephew. It's going to be great. Let's go.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason.
Boom, boom, boom. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Yo, I'm coming, man. We did $6.98 today on the super chat. You know what, though? I'm happy. It be little like fruit flies up in here. I appreciate all the support. $66.98. That's more than yesterday. Or no, it's not more than yesterday. It's more than whatever came in today, because nothing came in today until that $6.98 showed up. So we appreciate it. Word. And then when I leave here, my holiday or my weekend starts. And I'm recording, what am I doing tomorrow? I'm recording Fox Soul. I'm on Fox Soul. Tavis Smiley reached out, or I just saw Tavis and Cornell West. And they was like, yo, Fox Soul reached out to us. They want to use one of your clips for their show, and they want you to be on it. I was like, okay. He was like, oh, you know about it. I was like, yeah, they reached out to me. I told them to reach out to you. So we doing Fox Soul tomorrow.
Partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the functions. Black wealth attainment and retention.
Yo. Hey, thank you, Suge Mac 510. tell them for $1,000. What does that mean, Third Eye? The usual wound suspect side of the game is crazy, John.
On Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Hey, Andy, what'd you think? What'd you think?
And what we're talking about.
Huh? Yeah, about the songs. Yeah. I mean, he my age. He old school. He old school LA. You can hear it. Hey, but Broadway's beats, the first one and the last one, Broadway did those beats. Shit crazy. Is somebody singing Body Wash? That's another brother. I'm a resurrect Broadway for sure.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243.
The wound tricks. Man, I'm finna go get a gang of cereal and some ice cold milk. That's gonna be my dinner. I'm gonna get Cocoa Pebbles, Dig'em Smacks, Honeycomb Hideout. I'm gonna get the honeycomb. Give you some Raisin Bran. Hell no. I'm finna get some Captain Crunch. Egg roll rice. What? That sounds delicious though. I ain't even gonna lie. Nah, I be using that old oat milk. Hey man, as long as it's not water, I use oat milk. They done finally got that oat milk to taste a certain way that it don't fuck with me. I'm sorry. What up, Troy? Been here.
put it out the house stick. I walked on and on, and my people were once chosen. Cause the infrastructure we had built upon was stuck. Talking agriculture, government, landing and more. All this driving me in mathematics. Came from the Morris and I'm not basic. I got love for my car, can't just put it in black folks up like you about it. God can't, you ain't never taught about it. Only mentioning Aristotle, Socrates. But they gotta look too hard to see how proud you ought to be. God by history, interest to start of all philosophy. My time is coming, but I believe I'm so I'm stepping in the black, I'm G.I. Joe. They still selling lies, they still selling lies. They selling lies, trying to be they want. Depression and anxiety can come with strong emotions like sadness, despair, hopelessness, and fear. Sometimes people can view the mere presence of these strong emotions as evidence to support the emotions themselves. It's something we call emotional reasoning. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what emotional reasoning is and what you can do about it. Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our series on cognitive biases, and today's topic is going to be emotional reasoning, which is a very common type of cognitive distortion that people will experience that tends to exacerbate anxiety and depression. But before I get into that, just a couple of disclaimers to go over. I'm a registered psychologist in the province of British Columbia, Canada, and this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute or replacement for advice from your doctor or mental health professional. So with those things out of the way, let's start talking about emotional reasoning, which is when a person uses the presence or the intensity of their emotions as evidence that the emotions are based in reality, or that there's some reality to the emotions. So people often perceive that they have intuition and that their emotions are telling them something and that they should listen to those emotions. And generally speaking, that's okay, but when you're talking about anxiety and depression, this tendency can lead to a lot of problems. So things like, I feel so frightened, it must mean there's something really dangerous here. Or, I feel inadequate, so I must be worthless. I feel guilty, so I must have done something wrong. The problem is, our emotions are based on interpretations of events, not events themselves. And so if our interpretation is wrong, I'll experience an emotion that doesn't really match the situation, an emotion that is inappropriate or inconsistent with what's actually going on. So I can end up being extremely... Back to Alfred Korzybski, the map is not the territory. The feeling is not the reality. You don't listen to your emotions, you feel them. Once you feel them without judgment, they subside. And they're important to have. Emotions are like seasonings. Too much of them, they ruin the meal. They ruin the relationship. But when you learn how to regulate them by allowing yourself to feel them, they become very useful. The emotion is not the reality. It's just the feeling. So stop trying to listen to the emotion. Because if you listen to the emotion, what is the emotion connected to? The unhealed wound. And the unhealed wound is the source of your rapacious desire for supply. The wound said, we need this. It doesn't feel good. Give. You're setting up codependency all over again. Let me get my nephew back in here. Atlanta. Come on, Nazarene X, man. Did you remember your point?
Yeah, I did. We got time. I just riff off. So we're speaking about closure.
Yes.
I was saying, All right, so closure for me is basically, it looks like someone seeking comfort with that uncomfortable truth. But my emphasis is really on peace, like maintaining peace of mind. Like, that's crucial, and for me, it trumps any need for closure. Even a recent sermon that was echoed is that, you know, God itself, himself, herself, however we want to put it, God is a truth, way, and like God is a door. So as long as we walk with God in the now, at any given moment, we will always have a doorway. Even if there's not a door there, we walking with God, we still got a door with us. He's also a locksmith too. So if there's a blessing in something, he could pop that thing for us. But I believe that it's on us to stay rooted and asking ourselves, one, like, is peace even possible for me? And I pray that everybody finds it in themselves to acknowledge a yes in that.
So what is let's get into it. What is peace to you? What is it?
For me, it came to basically, as I just let it flow, it was just like, peace for me is surrender into knowing that even the storm is not that much different from myself, for real. So it's like, I find peace in nature, like, you know, storms, that's a part of nature and all of that. So even from that, as dangerous as it can be, I still feel a part of that.
So you hitting on something very powerful, sir. Let's just stay with me. Let me interrupt every now and again, because you're hitting on something that's so powerful, and I got to slow you down a little bit. Peace is surrender for you.
Correct.
This is deep. This is deep. This is deep. Now, surrender. Let's extend it further. Could you say surrender is synonymous with acceptance?
Yes, sir. No question.
What about you that you have accepted, that you have surrendered to, that ultimately brought you peace? What aspect of you, what inner demon, unhealed wound did you surrender to in empathy, in love, in non-judgmental observation? What wound did you do that to, that led you to peace?
It feels like it's something like my aggression to go get something right. Like, whatever that so-called quote-unquote violence group, but to go get them, like that dog, that whatever. Because I don't want to be dangerous yet. I am at the service of correcting wrongs, even in myself or in others or whatever. But it's like, in this world and society, part of the responsibility and being wise and making sure I'm still alive as long as I can be and so forth. Like, I don't want to misstep. So internally, I'm trusting myself to know my own intention, know my own nature, know my own heart. Yet at any given point, like, there is a little trigger button or whatnot. Like, my spirit gonna send me y'all potentially. Prayerfully, it's always on, you know what I'm saying? It's on time, and like, and I'm here for that.
No, I don't think you understand what you're doing right now. I don't understand the levels. You don't understand the levels that you're unlocking right now. So peace, you said peace, I don't have to go fix something, right? Are you speaking externally?
Yeah, from that sense, it starts within. Because like, it's before I can actually, if there is something externally to correct, if there is something outside of, like, my frame of mind is going to dictate how efficient I am when I show up anyway. So I got as more clear, as sound as possible, very secure in that sense, even to this point where it's like, to an extent, like, if I'm to give someone else an explanation, I can say, like, yo, certain things are beyond me, just like the power of God to me, like.
So look
what things I might not have the words for.
So
as long as
no, go ahead and say it, because I have to give you this. I don't even know if you are aware that you just laid this flat, but go ahead and say what you were saying.
Love. So basically, honestly, I'm just from good from. But,
so you know what you just said, right?
But, like, I said, like, I don't want to be dangerous yet. I don't want to be dangerous yet. So, like, I'm at the service of correcting wrongs, even in myself or in others or whatever. But it's like, in terms of, like, my
You said peace is not having or feeling this pressure or anger or desire or passion to want to go out and fix something, right? Internally, there's only one fix for what's going on internally. What is that?
Coming right back to that word, acceptance.
Boy, do you see? The self-fix did it. So if you said acceptance is an extension of surrender, are you telling me self-surrender ends the game? Accepting oneself as they are, without judgment, with empathy. I accept me in all levels, all areas, across all time and dimension. I am accepted by me first. That ends the desire to go, ooh, now I don't need to fix you, because most people are trying to fix other people so they can get the congratulations, the adulation, and the thanks and the approval from the boy. Stay right there. When we come forward, back to Atlanta, Georgia, more flames coming off the grill. Nephew, let me guide you, man. You're trying to fight me. You done said everything. I'm trying to craft it for you. Follow me. I'm throwing you alley-oops. Ah! Fuck it then. Come on. I'm trying to pull you in a certain way. And this is what you do. You give me more content than I need. And I'm like, you done said it. Let me tailor it. I'm like cutting the brisket. I'm shaping it. You cooking, nephew. You cooking. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Nephew, you cooking. True Monger said, don't flop like LeBron. Boy. Nah, this shit lit. This shit lit. This how this supposed to go right here. This is good. Chop blocking is a 15-yard penalty. Yeah, I'm gonna be shaving all. I'm looking like a motherfucking beige dandelion right now with all this. I'm gonna get it off. We have 1580 points. Huh? Oh, here we go. Give me your final thought, nephew. Not bald, but goddamn. I'm like, Rudolph, you better not miss reindeer practice today.
Talk 1580.
direction, witness of a chosen path, endless reflection and decision, and holding back. My money ain't adding up. I'm using broken math, working my ass without investing even close to half of anything. Ain't much left after the 15th. Let's figure it out. Is anybody listening? Obviously there's something missing. I probably need some other vision. Dalai Lama intervention. Lolly, make a decision, man. I need to change my habits. Stop wasting. Today I want to come to an issue that many people from complex trauma have when it comes to forming relationships, and it's a very troubling issue for them. And it would go under kind of the category of relationship addiction, or a new phrase or term that is used called limerence. To me, it's such a practical issue that needs to be looked at, and it's really not fully understood unless you look at it in light of complex trauma.
When we understand how complex trauma...
Listen, I want to let him cook, but I ain't got time. I got my nephew on the line. And it's important that we get my nephew's final thought. We can listen to him some other time. Now is my nephew's time, because guess what? We just had a breakthrough. The self-fix is connected to self-acceptance as you are? What? Is that what we just discovered, nephew? What are your final thoughts on this point?
I believe, again, just above all things, clarity. Clarity. Remain clear in yourself. Require it of yourself, and that'll help you be able to identify it when you encounter it. If you have any hang-ups, be clear inside, ask them questions, but I believe clarity is a key. That can unlock your awareness, that can unlock your acceptance and so forth. And I'm still working through it, still on it as well.
Me too, brother.
That's what I will offer out there, clarity.
Well, guess what you just did, nephew?
Lama. ATL, I appreciate you.
Atlanta in the building. We appreciate the call. Thank you so much. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us, man. The Disney epigenetic curse. Now with millennials practicing this eternal adolescence. Question: do millennials prolonged adolescence, 30% of them still living with their parents, and Disney Plus binge watching, fuel Peter Pan syndrome, idealizing partners as adulting saviors? Here's the empirical hook. Millennials cite lack of life skills as a top reason for avoiding marriage. Pew, this is Pew Research, 2024. Philosophical insight here. To refuse growth is to weaponize nostalgia. Zygmunt Bauman. Generational dissonance, longing for adult love while clinging to childhood fantasies. Emotional IQ insight. Swap Prince Charming myths for collaborative partnerships. Hashtag Peter Pan love. Hashtag adulting avoidance. Let me tell you something. You avoid adulthood when you avoid pain. Love is pain. Pain is gain. Gains in philosophical understanding, spiritual understanding, psychological understanding, relational understanding, self-understanding. Pain is gain. Somebody told you that you could shortcut the pain and get to the gain. It's impossible. It's impossible. Is that what the soft life is? The Disney epigenetic curse? I want love and everything that comes with it. I'm not afraid of love as it is, right? I'm not so unhealed that I want to try to tailor-make love to fit over my obese, unrequited, internal, deep-seated wounds, right? We try to become love tailors. This is my type of love. Your definition of love is more wanting than your definition of God, is more wanting than your definition of self. You don't know who you are, you don't know who God is, and you don't know what love is. But you think, listen, can you imagine hacking into a computer's motherboard without knowing any of the circuitry? That's what you do when you let wounds dictate how you love. Listen, there's a reason attachment is here. Attachment is the glue that keeps you in the lesson you keep trying to elude. That's why if you throw away the person, you get another lesson that triggers the same thing. Listen, Dr. David R. Hawkins wrote a fantastic book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. He said, we have three major ways of handling feelings. One, suppression, expression, and escape. Force can bring satisfaction, but only power brings joy. Victory over others brings us satisfaction, but victory over ourselves brings us joy. Please let me tell you what that means. You think you can force it. Oh, I'm done with you. I'm going to go to somebody else and they're going to do what I want them to do. That's force. And momentarily you will get satisfaction. But only power brings joy. The power of self-healing. Victory over others brings us satisfaction, but victory over ourselves brings us joy. Only a person can bring you satisfaction. It's fleeting. Stimulation is fleeting. And until you get comfortable being uncomfortable with the uncomfortable emotions that are all over the place, you're going to struggle. And God's going to keep you locked in to more relational experiences that will trigger more pieces of you to you. Listen, you don't have to agree. I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The Voice of Reason is done for the week. I'll be back next week with another slew of slappers. Deuces! Fire show. Peace, fam. Enjoy y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Deuces, deuces, deuces.